Hey, what is up, guys? It is FallenChills, and today we're looking at the mechanic and the skill of pre-firing. I am having packet loss once again, so there's that. And if this video does help you at all, just please subscribe. That's all I'm gonna ask. I'm not gonna keep plugging it. So pre-firing is a mechanic that breaks down into 4 different mechanics, and together they all manifest into pre-firing. And those 4 mechanics are game sense, map knowledge, crosshair placement, and movement, specifically counter strafing or sidestepping. Now, why do these 4 things kind of make up a pre-fire? That's going to be mainly map knowledge is going to be a huge part of it. You need to know what are the common positions on every single map for a player to hold from. You're going to need to kind of have a mental map of where people could be. And when you're deciding to pre-fire, you are going to decide to shoot without checking if someone is actually there at one of those predetermined positions. And if you're not doing it that way, then you're basically switching that out with your game sense and using your visual and audio clues to know where a person is holding, which may not necessarily be a common position. You just heard them there, and then from there you're going to swing on them and do the same exact thing. So game sense and map knowledge kind of switch back and forth when you're doing a pre-fire depending on the situation. And the reason you're using counter strafing and crosshair placement is because you're trying to align your crosshair to where the player is from wherever you are at the moment, and then swinging out and shooting without adjusting your crosshair. And that is a crucial part of this process. So having good crosshair placement is necessary for this to happen. And then for your counter strafing, that is necessary for you to be able to shoot as soon as you are able to shoot at that angle. So you need to stop your movement instantly and then shoot. And that's kind of how they all mix together, right? And those 4 things culminate into a pre-fire. And well, a pre-fire itself, if we're going to explain it, is a super peak, basically. It's cutting out the main guts of a peak. If we break down a peak is swinging out, registering that there is an opponent there, adjusting your crosshair, and then shooting. That wasn't a headshot? That's weird. And a pre-fire basically cuts out those middle 2 steps, and all you're doing is swinging and then shooting. And the reason that's so strong is since you're cutting out human reaction time and your time you need to adjust, you're basically peeking and then instantly destroying your opponent without really giving them time to react. And it's going to make you look like you're kind of a cheater, but it's literally a valid mechanic. And a thing to know is pre-firing is actually not as strong in Valorant as it is in CSGO because of the movement accuracy tweaks where you're not instantly accurate after canceling your recoil. Every once in a while you're going to see you get kind of a random spray bullet, and that's because it takes a bit of a delay for your accuracy to completely settle after moving. So how do you actually pre-fire, since I've explained what it is and what it is doing? Well, you're kind of lining up your crosshair to your opponent's head through the wall and then swinging out and stopping exactly when it lines up and shooting. So let's go ahead and hop into a map so I can kind of show this with your common spots, and then we'll close it out. Alright, so we are looking at pre-firing on split, and we're going to just assume we have 2 mid defenders like as usual. We have one holding this angle, and we have one playing right there. And we're going to be looking at the 2 different pre-firing methods that I would kind of say that there is. And the first one is the one I've mostly been talking about, which is this counter strafing, jiggle peeking pre-firing, where you're lining up your crosshair and not moving it at all, and you're just going for those shots. And that's pretty much a pre-fire right there, right? I'm counter strafing and I'm kind of spraying at a common head spot position to try to get that pick before he is able to react. And then the other one, let's say that you're pushing a mid and you know that there's someone holding there. Well, instead of that whole counter strafing dealio, you can also just start kind of firing early without really even taking the time to check if he's actually there. it would kind of look like that. And that's pretty much the gist of pre-firing. Pre-firing is trying to win the fight with your opponent before your opponent even knows that there is a fight. That's pre-firing, guys. I hope this video helped and it made sense. I had a bit of difficulty making this video for some reason. Got a little frustrated, but I hope everything worked out in the end, and I'll see you guys in the next one.